What an amazing day. We have so much to talk about. Student debts, ghost guns. Oh, I smell some.
What is that?
Musk.
Do you smell it? Ooh.
Does it smell like musk?
Musk. We're not talking about anything but Twitter today. Because what else could we talk about, right? I have my two co-hosts here today. First off, Brian.
Wait. Okay. There needs to be one small correction on this, okay? Because I must officially request that through the Queen of England and the United Kingdom that you now refer to me as Lord.
Oh, he did it. He got land.
From this day forth, I will be referred to as Lord. If you can find me on Twitter, it is Lord Griswold on Twitter. So from now on, I must request that you call me Lord or Sire or even Your Majesty. It's fine. So that's all I got.
Let me rewind. What's your middle? Never mind. Let me rewind that. And our first guest here today is the exceptional, the Majesty, His Royal Sire, Mr. Lord Brian.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
No.
I'm sorry, dear Lord. When is tea time after this?
Good question. Don't know.
Okay. On to the next person. Our guest, our AV specialist, our main host, Mike.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast.
Definitely not a lord.
My sire. Actually, I will refute that claim because my Twitter handle is also Lord Norris. So you may all refer to me as Lord Norris or Lord or the Great
Sire
Lord,
or-
Sire.
Yeah.
Or
Is this
Daddy.
now going to be like...
I don't know if your wife's going to like that.
As long as your patrons on locals, we're good.
As long as you're getting paid.
Just pay me and we're good.
Is this now going to be a dick measuring contest of us buying all this stuff online?
It's not even a contest.
No, it's not. I mean, I own a lot of Scottish land. I bought a lot of it.
A square foot?
Oh, I bought 2 square feet.
Oh my goodness.
I'm flexing.
That is exactly 100% above what I estimated.
That's cool, man. I heard that you could do that.
Yeah.
You could just buy a little square plot.
You can put it on your, like, you can have it put on your information or whatever. Like, it's official.
Nice.
Yeah.
Change your like legal name to that.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking
Lord,
hilarious.
No irony in it.
Oh, that's going to be my new pronoun, Lord. And then if they're like, I'm not calling you Lord. Oh, well, then Sire, Your Majesty, whatever.
That's hilarious.
Lord Majesty.
Cool. Well, welcome again, everybody, to the Saint Savages podcast. We are here joined by everybody. And as you can see, we are still adding things to the studio. As you can see behind me, we have our amazing sign and logo for the podcast.
Good, dude.
Yeah, man, looks freaking awesome. They did a great job. Shout
Really?
out to Office 360. That's their name.
Nice.
They're downstairs from us, and they were really great through the whole process. And anything for the podcast.
Nice.
As you can see behind Lord Griswold, there is
the
other great
The one and only Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. So far, there's nothing behind Blake, but we will get to that.
Yeah,
but-
Blake, what are you doing, dude? You're like falling short over here. What's going on, man?
You know.
We should just green screen him. a new thing every freaking week.
Put some kittens behind there playing with the laundry.
or like
Actually-
a lady just playing the lute.
If you can put the Elden Ring logo behind me.
Or like a fight, an Elden Ring fight, like
There
there's
you
just
go.
fighting the bosses or something.
I know we
behind
want to
them.
get into stuff, but have you guys seen that guy William Paladin or Palderin or whatever
Yeah.
on YouTube? The guy's hilarious.
He's just doing like funny. I saw hilarious stuff he was doing.
Have you seen him, Blake?
Which one is this?
His name's like William Paladin or Paldrin or something like that. He does all of these, like, he dresses up like a knight and
Yeah.
he like travels around and like he'll do like Elden Ring stuff like that. It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, I've seen some of this stuff.
Watch his YouTube video.
Good
Anyway,
stuff. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Twitter and the great Elon Musk buying it out from under all these furious libs.
So I know I said probably a couple podcasts ago that I would not get a Twitter I lied.
Yes, we Lord Griswold and myself and myself, Lord Norris, jumped straight onto the platform, and we promptly began tweeting memes and gifs.
Oh my god,
Hilarious stuff.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
want to,
so
if you want,
behind.
I just want to know, like I'm not a Twitter person, so I'm on there new, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna tweet funny stuff. I guess whatever. And so I'm like, there's a limit, I guess, of what you can type, right?
Yes.
it's like a certain number of characters or something.
Okay, so I just need to know that because I want to know how many times you can type LOL.
And what's the number?
I don't know. We're
It's
gonna figure it out.
It's like 200 and something characters, Anna. That's hilarious.
I'll probably get like 30 LOLs there.
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow us, you can find us on Twitter, obviously. You can
Lord_Griswold.
Lord_ Norris as well.
Mine's probably going to be great GR8.
No, you got to do Lord_.
What are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Okay, fine. I will do.
Who
Lord.
are you?
All right, from now on, it'll be only Saints and Savages podcast with Brian, Lord Griswold, and Lord Norris until Lord
All right.
something.
It will be
jumps
Lord
on.
Great.
There you go. Whatever. Just as long as you have Lord on there.
I know you guys can't see her on camera, but Blake's wife is here right now. Please get him online. Thank you.
Or leave him. Either one.
This
All
is
right.
getting very
But yeah, anyways, to be on a serious note, let's jump into it. Brian, I think you got the first article here for us, right?
I got like all the articles.
PJ
All right.
Media.
So the Human Rights Watch, ACLU, Amnesty International clutched their pearls in horror at Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter. Now, of course, the ACLU, right? I mean, this is like supposed to be the bastion of free speech and freedoms. The American Civil Liberties Union, which really they went far left.
I mean, I think they got infiltrated,
Like
at a certain point.
I think it was under Clinton. They kind of just like, you know what, we're just going to go this way. But to their credit, I think they were supporting
Project
Veritas.
They were, yeah.
But anyway, so in this article it says there's been one sultry effect of the week-long efforts of Elon Musk to gain control of Twitter and the debate over the freedom of speech that ensued. Now the left's foremost individuals and institutions are out and open about their hatred for the freedom of speech. So we know, like, what did he say when he was going to buy Twitter? Like, what was his main thing?
To restore freedom of speech.
Right.
Yeah, and he also tweeted out, I hope all my haters will stay on the platform.
Yeah.
He's not out to censor people, as far as we know, right? I mean, things can change, whatever can happen, but as far as we know, like, he is a free speech absolutist.
Yeah. Well, we actually know less. We know less of what he's going to do than what he is going to do. Everybody, of course, is making all these assumptions, and he's going to come in. He's going to like straight up right wing Twitter. First of all, he's not right wing, right?
Yeah, he's left leaning.
Yeah, I mean, they did the same thing to Trump, right, in the
Yeah.
beginning. That like Trump was their biggest fan. Everybody would want to be like Trump, and then all of a sudden when he came out as a Republican, then it was like he's evil incarnate and he's whatever. But Elon Musk has never come out as conservative right wing. He just says I support freedom of speech, as I would assume most liberals do. Okay, vast majority of liberals. Now leftists, on the other hand, I highly doubt it. I think vast majority of leftists do not want freedom of speech. Okay?
And I would also
restrict
expect
their
that.
pronouns.
I would also expect that from the man that's probably doing the most for climate change, if anything.
Right.
Right?
So anyway, the authoritarian heart of the left has been exposed as their war against the foundational principle of any free society, the right to express oneself even if one's opinions doesn't coincide with those of powerful and or moneyed elites. Brock and Hillary hate the freedom of speech, and they want you to think it's dangerous toy, too dangerous for you to play with. And now 3 pillars of the unconscious and hypocritical left, human rights establishments, Human Rights Watch, HRW, Amnesty International, and the American Civil Liberties Union have come out against it as well. So, of course, they're just freaking out. They're talking about here, it's like free speech absolutists, and if you support the Constitution, if you believe in the First Amendment, you believe in freedom of speech, right? I don't believe, like, they keep using this term, this hate speech thing, right? It's like, well, he's going to come in and take over Twitter. He's gonna drop all of the barriers, everything that anybody can come in and say whatever they want. It's like, no, that's not true. There are responsibilities to your rights, okay, with freedom of speech. However, as a freedom of speech absolutist, what that means is that it's like, I can say whatever I want so long as it doesn't, I don't call for hurting you. I don't call for action against somebody,
direct action against somebody that results in actual
like Maxine Waters has done on several occasions.
or BLM.
Right. It's if I want to sit there and say, hey, ivermectin could be a useful drug, or the CDC may have misled us when it came to COVID,
or 20% of Americans wouldn't have voted for Biden if they knew Hunter Biden's laptop story was true.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, and we saw how many people got kicked off of Twitter because of these things, right?
Yeah.
Because what it comes down to is that, it's mis and disinformation, right? Well, what mis and disinformation for the left is that anything I disagree with
is disinformation or misinformation. It rules for thee, but not for me, right? That's how the left rules right now.
Yeah. So this article just keeps going on about, just the absolute.
I mean, it's just a meltdown, dude. All these articles are just meltdowns.
And it says down here, it's kind of down a little bit further. The ACLU's real concern seems to be that the cultural power that has been almost solely in the hands of the left for so long may not be its exclusive property for much longer. Yeah, no crap.
Did you read this part on the bottom right here where it says, while Elon Musk is an ACLU card-carrying member,
exactly,
and one of our most significant supporters, there's a lot of danger having so much power in the hands of one individual, yet that individual has declared his determination to let people speak whose opinions are marginalized and demonized by the political and media elites. The ACO's real concern seems to be that the cultural power that has been almost solely in the hands of the left for so long may not be its exclusive property for much longer. What? Are you kidding me? He's a card-carrying member of the ACLU and one of its biggest contributors, and they're just freaking out that he bought he took private the public square so that everybody has a voice.
What did Jeff Bezos buy again?
I believe it's the WAPO. The Washington Post?
Or the New York Times?
That's the Washington Post.
Washington Post, okay.
Yeah.
They never cried about him. He's a big leftist.
Oh, man. He's so salty right now.
What about Mark Zuckerberg, dude?
Oh, man, dude.
He owned Facebook forever before he went public. He still has, I think, the largest controlling interest. Nobody complains about him. He's a big leftist.
Yep. I mean, I do not understand. Like, the ACLU, the whole point of it is to, like, fight for rights and for people to be able to, like, be heard and, like, have a fair shot at everything. But then they're all, like, freaking out about this stuff. Just what's that?
Do you remember in the late 80s, maybe early mid-90s, when the neo-Nazi group wanted to protest in New York?
Yep. Oh, yep.
And the head of ACLU, a Jewish lawyer, defended their right to have a protest in the streets. How far they have gone.
Well, it's the same thing in Chicago. They actually had, we've said this before, they actually had Holocaust survivors that came out in Chicago to support the Nazis' rights to come out and do a protest. Not supporting what they're saying or anything like that. It was the freedom of speech.
Yeah, you can fight for someone's right to share their ideas that they espouse. Nazism is a terrible thing. I don't believe in socialism, let alone National Socialism. But that being said, these things do not thrive in a free speech environment. In order for Hitler to get it to pass, he killed his political opponents. I talked about this before, but in a free speech environment, those things don't get enough traction. They don't get enough people. You'll have a minority of a minority. So I'm very happy to hear some of the things that he'll change Twitter.
Well, I think Elon Musk, before we get into like ways he's vowed to change Twitter, is I think he said that free speech is the cornerstone of a free society. Right. And it's absolutely true. If you can't espouse your ideas, no matter how inconvenient or controversial they are, like then what's the point, right? You pretty much just become you just a serf, right? Because that means you can't think for yourself. You always have to espouse the political ideal of whoever's in power.
But you have to defend your views. And if you can't defend your views, that's why you want to shut down speech. From my perspective, I'm not a great debater. I'm one of those people, it's like I'll struggle in an argument, if I'm doing a debate, but it's like my brain just doesn't work that quick to come up with stuff like Ben Shapiro or whatnot, but I know I can find the information pretty quickly. But with, the left, it's, they can't defend their arguments, right? And they don't have the facts to back them up. But from my perspective, I look at it as the reason why I don't want to stop anybody is because I want you to expose what an idiot you are. Open your mouth, remove all doubt. You know, go ahead. Like, tell me all the things that you believe, and let me pull up the facts while you're saying it, and let me show it to you. I mean, we saw Steven Crowder do that on one of his recent ones where they had some leftist
from the Rolling Stones journalist.
Yeah, and he had to pull up, the statistics on how many people are actually transgender, and like he pulled up the number, and he's like, I think he was saying some crazy number like 20% or something like that, and then when he pulls up the number, it was like 0.08%.
Well, no, he pulled up the same article, and down below is where they actually like talk about the real numbers. And he's like, in your article, this is your article. This is what it says. These are the real numbers. And the guy like was just like flipping out. Well, again, rules for thee, but not for me.
Well, like I've said this before. So Michael Medved is one of the greatest before Ben Shapiro. He was one of the greatest debaters on the right, of anybody, left or right. Great debater, and he would do these big debates. And at one point in time, the left was like, "No more. We're not going to do it," because he would shred everybody because he just knew facts. I mean, he just would hit him with it. So
I mean, that's why nobody debates Ben. That's why nobody debates D'Souza. That's why nobody debates anybody really from the right anymore.
Well, why do you
even Crowder? Like, he has a hard time getting people to like come up to his change my mind tables.
Sure. Well, you remember what's his name, Milo Yiannopoulos, right?
Yep.
Who I think is he's a crappy person, for a lot of reasons. But I support his right to be able to come on Twitter and say stupid things, right? Yeah. But you remember when he was at Berkeley, that was that big, huge, they were burning down parts of Berkeley because he was coming to speak and they didn't want to hear him talk. And it's like,
then don't go. Whoever wants to listen to that crap will go and listen to that crap. Whoever wants to listen to your crap will come listen to your crap. But don't impede people's ability to be able to, congregate and share their ideas.
Yeah,
if it's a bad idea, nobody will understand. Nobody will want to hear and adopt that idea.
Well, and like you said, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They've talked so much about rights and privileges. They haven't talked about responsibilities and the things that you have to assume control of when you have these freedoms. The freedom of speech comes with it the freedom to be offended and to own up to your words and be able to stand up to it. You don't always get a safe space with the freedom of speech. That's the cost of it. Yeah, you should be able to take breaks and go away, but, challenging ideas. That's what happens in freedom of speech. You have to say it, and you have to be able to support it if you want people to come to your side. So only good ideas thrive, and that is the power of free speech, and that's what we need to have. Restricting this stuff just allows only certain ideas to be passed. The people who control the information get to pass their ideas. Freedom of speech, you get more people, more ideas, and probably better ideas, better perspectives. So the fact that these universities, which are supposed to be bastions of challenging yourself, growing,
right?
We haven't had that in, 20, 30 years.
Since before the 60s, man.
It's got to be since 60s. I'd say a little bit right before the Vietnam War era. Like after that, everything just went to crap for educational purposes.
Let's get into this. Let's get into this part where he talks about this next story, the 10 ways Elon Musk wants to change Twitter.
Yeah. And this is on PJ Media as well. Here are 10 ways Elon Musk vows to change Twitter.
Yeah, we're just going to scroll down to these numbers. What I would say is personally, when he comes into Twitter, my family, we've owned businesses before. We used to own a restaurant, stuff like that. And one of the biggest mistakes we made is when we went into that restaurant, it was a struggling restaurant. We retained all the employees. Absolutely not. One of my recommendations would be is that as soon as he gets in there, fire everybody, dude.
Yep.
Get rid of everybody.
Absolutely.
From top down, especially management, you're out of here. It's like you guys haven't made $1, right? What is business to do? Make money.
Yep.
And they haven't been profitable since they've been functioning. So it's like get in there, fire everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna get through some of this, but it turns out he's gonna be opening up a lot of Twitter.
Yeah.
So, we'll get into that. Into the algorithm.
Yeah. So number one, what he says is open the vault. Musk wants to reveal the Twitter algorithm, right? He's talked about this. He wants to make it so that you could sit there and see whether or not you're being shadow banned or whatnot. Or obviously you're not gonna be if he does it correctly. You're not gonna be shadow banned, but you can see the algorithm. You can see it's like, well, how come I'm getting dethrottled?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the history of Linux or the history of Python or even other projects like Foundry for people who play D&D. Opening your script onto GitHub so people can take on projects and merge tickets and merge coding really gives you a thriving community where people can make their own mods, make their own programs that you can implement. It makes it more customizable, like little pieces of this guy coded, little pieces of this guy coded, put together. opening this so Twitter becomes a GitHub repository of codes that you can merge and projects you merge really customizes it and allows it to be adaptable and changeable to how people want it. It's awesome.
What's crazy about that is that just today or late yesterday they closed down all changes to Twitter because they were worried that high placed employees would go in and sabotage Twitter. And just this morning, the news broke that some former employees, I guess they quit or something. They took the algorithm and they put it on an open vault or something like that.
But who cares? Because
on GitHub.
Guess what?
But it was empty or something like that. Yeah, I'm not entirely familiar with exactly what it was, but obviously they're like trying to do some shady crap.
Yeah, right? But Musk did that with Tesla. He put it out there. You can make the cars yourself.
Yeah,
you put all the information out there. But guess what? You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So all right. So number 2, editing function. Musk wants to edit function on Twitter. That'd be nice. It's a bummer to find out that your tweet with several retweets was struck by the autocorrect demons after you typed the right word. Oh, you know who's doing that right now? Google.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you shouldn't type mankind. Maybe you should change it to human. Go F yourself, Google.
Dude, I know this is a function that people have been begging for a long time to be able to edit. And I think only the people that have been able to edit have been like really high-placed blue-checked individuals that can go in and edit posts. I think it's like a very small handful of them. But people have been asking for this function forever, and I don't understand why it's...
What I think is what's going to be, too, is like if you change your post, your original post is still going to be there. So even if you go in and you delete a post, it's going to still be there. You could do it on the Wayback Machine anyway. That's how they find all these old tweets and stuff from these people.
We'll just say edited somewhere.
Yeah. Number 3, mysterious promoted tweets. Musk wants to reveal why some tweets are promoted and others are not.
I'm curious how much he'll be able to explain that. Depending on how they have this coded, they might have a machine learning algorithm promoting tweets, and they develop their own logic. And it's kind of hard to publish the logic that an algorithm has developed over time. We'll see.
But I think also there's a very prominent individuals that obviously like the leftist ideology pushes more, and I'm sure they have dedicated engineers that be like, hey, we always want you to be promoting these tweets more than anybody else. And I think Project Veritas has caught several engineers being like, oh yeah, well, we make sure that like, let's say Project Veritas's Twitter account doesn't get viewed as much. If they can do that manually, they can do the reverse.
Well,
right?
That's true.
Steven Crowder found that one person from Facebook that actually showed him the code was showing how conservatives were being throttled, and they specifically showed Crowder how they throttled him. She showed him the code, or was it he? I'm not sure. And it's like, it's true. It's there. This is
shadow banning. I mean, yeah.
All right, number 4, less advertising. I don't know about this. I think advertising might be a good thing to go, especially if he wants to make money. But let's see what he says.
I think he's doing that just at the beginning, just so that he can really like tighten down things and make sure that certain advertisers are getting promoted in some. Because I know Twitter said that, hey, if you're like a conservative or right leaning advertiser, we don't want you on the platform.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's talking about doing Twitter Blue, where customers pay for more features to receive a coveted check mark.
Yep.
Not the usual blue check mark that denotes them as a paying customer. So that's just going to, of course, get rid of all the fake accounts, which is funny because we're going to get into that a little bit here in a minute. Number 5, working for free. Have the board of directors work for free. Well, since he's going to be the sole owner, he doesn't need a board of directors anyway.
I mean, dude, there's going to be tons of people lining up to be able to do that, man.
I think it's funny, too. You see the media out there like, will he actually be able to run a social media company? You mean the guy that put satellites up into space, the guy that created an electric car that
launched into space, that's still in space, floating through the universe?
I love how before he bought this, he sends out the survey. Do you believe Twitter has free speech?
Yeah.
No. So he gets verifiable data from people that it's not there. And he's like, well, this is a big enough problem that I'm going to take a break from terraforming Mars to come solve this.
He's got 118 million followers on Twitter or something like that. So it's like
something ridiculous.
He gets a pretty good idea of what people want, right?
Yeah.
Number 6, stop the bots. Get rid of the bots and the scammers on Twitter, right? Well, what did they talk about that won Trump the election, right? The Russian bots on Twitter. Mm-hmm. You mean all the conservatives that were on Twitter? All 3 of them? No, it's not to say that bots didn't exist. They did. And one of the articles we're going to get into in a little bit here.
I mean, they're actually very prevalent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very prevalent, yeah.
Number 7, shadow banning.
Look at the picture on this. This is great. He tweeted this picture in case you need to lose a boner fast. That's the new emoji that Apple came out with, a pregnant man.
Oh
and he
my
put
gosh, yeah,
for those of you guys just listening, he put a picture that emoji next to
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates in the exact same
Did you see
color
that
t-shirt.
tweet between him and Bill Gates?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Or no, I think
No.
it was a private message.
No, so it was a text message,
Yeah.
and Bill Gates reached out to Musk and he said, "Hey, want to get together with you and talk about philanthropy or something like
Yeah,
that."
yeah.
And Elon Musk is like, "Wait, I'm glad to do that, but first, do you still have half a billion in shorts on Tesla?" And he's like, yeah, unfortunately, I haven't closed that out, but I just want to talk philanthropy. And he's like, screw off.
Yeah.
Dude. He's like, I'm doing more for the environment than you will ever will, and you're shorting my stock. Get
Yeah.
the freak out of here.
Yeah,
Anyways, he somehow quote it got released, and it's like trending everywhere now.
Yeah. Did we say this one? Shadow banning, number 7. So we've talked about it. Everybody knows what shadow banning is, except those on the left. They have no idea what that is because they don't get shadow banned. Well, let's explain it real quick. What's shadow banning?
It is banning someone, preventing their tweets from reaching their audience and never informing them that it's happening. So your viewership goes down and you're never told why. And Project Veritas has footage of Twitter programmers or owners talking about, we shadow ban those people because they're a message that we don't want to support.
This is YouTube's lifeblood.
Oh yeah,
Shadow banning is their
Absolutely.
bread and butter. Number 8, end the endless threads. Allow for longer tweets. So we're looking at, instead of doing
200 and something.
You can do
50,
more.
At 50 LOLs, you can do 200 LOLs.
More LOS.
Can you look up how many characters Twitter?
It's like
you can
128,
tweet?
I think.
I would be
128?
I think it's like 128.
Oh, that's it, like 200 and something.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to look at it doing like a Substack idea.
Probably.
So number 9, private. Take the social media company private to keep politics out of it.
Good.
Yeah.
Or allow people to say whatever the hell they want, since it's freedom of speech, right?
280 characters is correct.
280.
Screw you guys.
Cut staff. The Wall Street Journal reports Musk might reduce the number of ones and zeros working at the Silicon Valley firm. Anything Musk does with Twitter will be an improvement. He's not a savior, but he's appreciated. So there's something like 7,000 employees or something. No, is it 7,000 employees? 7,200 employees at Twitter or something like that?
Yeah, none of them work at Twitter headquarters.
Like the average salary is like $119,000 or something like that. And all these people are like, well, just fire me. I'm sorry. We're looking at one of the greatest depressions in the history coming our way, and you're just fire me. Okay.
He should start with that lady that went on Joe Rogan with Jack Dorsey and argue with Tim Pool. Man, that lady's horrible, dude.
All right. Oh man, yeah. So
You guys think he's gonna come in and just fire everybody? What do you guys
no, I
think
don't.
is gonna happen?
He's
slow transition.
You can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Twitter has to operate. He's a smart guy. He plays 3D chess, right? He's probably has a backup contingent ready to go. He's probably got a whole bunch of people ready to go. It's like, look, let's get a safety net going. The bare minimum to keep Twitter running. And last person out of Twitter, don't forget to turn out the lights. The rest of the people you're going to come in, they're going to take it over. But it's kind of like if you have somebody who does electronics, right? Somebody who comes in and works on servers, you don't fire them while they still have access to the server room.
Yeah. That's why they locked out all change functions on Twitter, because they were worried about that.
Yeah.
Right?
So you got to backfill, but you got to do it carefully. And not everybody at Twitter's bad. And I guarantee you there's conservative people at Twitter that keep their mouth shut.
Oh yeah.
That's the same thing at Google. Same thing. They have to keep their mouth shut because they're afraid of being attacked. So I think this is the same thing. You're going to have those people there. That doesn't necessarily mean you do a good job. And I don't care what your politics are. If you do a good job and you bring in money, great. I think they said the amount of money per person at Twitter that they bring in is like $2 million per person or $1 million per person, right? And like somebody made fun of it. They're like, well, at Twitter they bring in $1 million per person, where at Tesla it's only $720,000 per person. Dude,
how much do you bring in?
Yeah, exactly.
How much does your company bring in? Like, get out of here, man.
All right, let's get to this next article here. This is at Town Hall.
Yeah, for those of you guys watching, we're just running through these articles because it's a lot of information.
There's so much.
While you're pulling it up,
I already got it up. Go ahead though.
Ready to go. We're ready, man.
Too fast.
Go ahead.
From some things I've heard about Elon Musk and his leadership style, I hear he's a very empathic leader. Some say he has good emotional intelligence when it comes to being aware of his employees, health days they need to take of, being aware of themselves. Despite him working in a factory and having long hours, like tries to be aware of his employees. So I think it'll be like, yeah, if you guys want to work here at Twitter, be my guest. We'd be happy to have you. If you're going to protest or you don't feel comfortable, wish we would work something out, but you can leave.
Yeah, this is the problem that you're going to get into, though, is you do have, I think you see it more so on the left. You see these people that are just spiteful, and they'll stay in and undermine why they're in. I mean, you look at what happened to Trump, right? Trump kept a lot of people over from Obama, and what happened? They undermined him like crazy. They leaked like crazy. They did everything they possibly could. He was fighting an entire battle in his first, his only 4 years so far, and he was just, that's all. It was just a war. You had the deep state, right, that was just constantly fighting him on the back end, and releasing information, doing everything they could to negate any inroads that he made. And I think that if Elon is not careful at Twitter, you're going to see the same thing. If you keep too many people, these people are going to group together and they're gonna undermine you.
Yeah, but again, man, this guy is probably one of the smartest people in the world. I just don't see that happening, man. He runs a tight ship, man, with all his companies, and he's gonna have to keep an even closer eye on Twitter. But I think if it comes down to it, and he needs to fire everybody and be shut down for a few days before he comes back up, I think he'll do it, man. Yeah. Elon doesn't give a fudge about anything.
Well, since he owns it and it's not bringing in revenue anyway, he can shut it down.
Yeah, he bought it.
Shut it down for a little bit and then
revamp it, come back over. Yep.
Yeah. Unlike YouTube and Twitter that has community guidelines that they never really say what they do, he's very good at having strict policy, making sure the employees understand it. If you don't follow up to the company policy as you're working, and he's smart enough with programming. And since all of this is computer work, he can digitize this policy that if you don't, follow it well enough, he'll have a discussion with you to get rid of those people who are undermining. But you're right about keeping the code, locking down the change function, making sure this doesn't happen, because this transition is going to be a difficult period for him.
Yep.
Yeah, what I'm worried about is more like the subsidiary companies that keep Twitter supplied, like AWS, all those other like Visa, MasterCard. What if all these companies will all get together in Silicon Valley and they're like, hey, we're not going to do business with Twitter. You got to get off the AWS and stuff. And they shut it down like they did Parler. Right, that's the main concern right there. Because I think Elon, he has more than enough expertise. He can bring in a team. People want to work with him, software engineers, things like that, to work on this. But what if Bezos was like, hey, screw that, get him off of AWS. You have to go find your own server. Like that's an issue.
Yeah,
right?
Or you do something like where you merge with like Getter, right?
Yeah.
Or what? Not Getter, Gap. Right? He has his own thing. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's merge. Let's bring you in. Let's bring you on board. You were already doing something that was really good. You're working with the blockchain. You're doing all this stuff. Why don't we bring you in? We can, But yeah, like I said, it's like I'm pretty sure Elon's thought this stuff through. You're not going to go to buy a company if you don't already have this stuff ready to go.
Along those lines, even if the credit card company said they're not going to fund him anymore, that's probably why he's moving to make this open source.
I think he wants to. I think what he's going to do is ultimately he's going to integrate Bitcoin, whether it be Dogecoin or whatever it is.
That's right. Yeah.
I guarantee it, man. He's going to do that, and then he's going to open source it. And he's like, if you guys don't like it, you can spin up whatever you want for your own Twitter. How the left people are like, oh, why don't you go build your own thing?
Yeah.
They're like, well, no, we'll just buy it.
Well, you remember it's like, Twitter's a private company, can do whatever it wants. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I got your tweets right here saying that.
Yeah. So, board of directory for free, open the vault. Yeah. Take away funding, it's going to be self-sustaining. And I would love it if Amazon took away the servers and forced him to build up his own server.
Oh, I know. So that's what I'm saying. But it takes time to build that infrastructure. Remember, Twitter is global.
Yeah, but if they sit there and they say, well, you can't do it, it's impossible. He literally built an entire infrastructure for his electric cars. Yeah. And now the U.S. government is trying to play catch-up because they need all that infrastructure for their cars that they want to use.
But remember, AWS kicked Parler off in 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Overnight, Parler went down, and it was down for weeks, man.
Yeah.
If Twitter went down for weeks, obviously no shareholders anymore, so it doesn't matter. Elon can say, screw you guys, and I'm just going to build my own thing. Then, he probably has server backups that he's waiting to contract with. Maybe he's planning on taking it off of AWS anyways.
All that does is prove the right.
Yep, absolutely. I know.
All it does.
Yeah.
It's true. He's probably already got a pretty good server database built up. It's funny that Amazon, they started off with nothing. They didn't start off with AWS. That came because they couldn't keep up with the Black Friday sales. And instead of renting servers, they just built their own server farm and they rented out extra space. And that thing developed into, they're one of the biggest cloud service providers in the world.
They are the biggest.
Yeah.
Hands
so
down.
I think if this happens, it would be unintended consequence of them getting competition from other people building their own server farms.
I mean, if they do it, it'll be ultimate war, and all these other platforms will be like, we can never trust AWS ever again, and they're gonna go for other. That's gonna prompt a multitude of other services for servers to pop up because nobody can trust AWS, and the left just emotionally like kicking people off for no business reason.
This is why you already have parallel economy.
Yep.
And all you're doing is you're just driving that. You're driving parallel economy. But the thing is you're driving those from the left to the right. Mm-hmm. And that's just going to get worse. And, I caution anybody who agrees with this that, the pendulum always swings both ways. Politically, right? We remember when Harry Reid, right? Well, we're going to get rid of the nuclear option, right? So that way we can vote without a majority. Well, that came back and bit him in the butt when McConnell did it. Mm-hmm. Cocaine Mitch came back and got him, baby.
Whatever you do to somebody, they're going to do it back to you, man. So why don't we keep moving along on these articles because we got a lot of to cover. So.
Yeah. So Town Hall, there's an MSNBC host that we're going to play this video here. It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh! All right, so you want to give a little
All right, so
here back to MSNBC. Ari Melber warned about the power these platforms yield for decreasing the reach of some posts and increasing them for others, to shadow banning whose whole slates of politicians from the opposing party. Oh, and you don't even have to be transparent. All of this probably won't be discovered until after the election, he added. So here, why don't we go ahead and play this? This is hilarious.
You own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates.
Really?
All of its nominees. Or you could just secretly...
Really?
Are you kidding me?
That happens?
You have got to be kidding me.
No way.
But that would be crazy if they would have done that to like Trump or something. That would have been just insane.
Banning the president
especially
of the United
if
States.
he was already the president of the United States.
Yeah, a sitting president? Wow.
Get out of here. All right, let's keep listening.
Turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else, and the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election. Elon Musk says this is all to help people because he is just a free speech, philosophically clear, open-minded helper.
Wow.
That guy,
my God.
It's like, dude, pull out a mirror, brother. You know what your guys' network did to everybody? You sit there and you had news of Hunter Biden's laptop and you just dropped it into the waste bin, didn't even talk about it, let alone.
Out of your way to suppress it because you knew it could affect the election.
And then if anybody went to Twitter and talked about it, you got banned.
Yeah.
He knows it will happen because they did it already.
Dude, the comments on this are hilarious.
but
there's is this parody? This cannot be real.
You don't say. Go through the
Yeah, I'll read it. Here, you guys can look at him right here. The first comment is, what does he think his network does every single day? The next one is this ... parody? This cannot be real. Can't be real. Talon suddenly realizes the owner of Twitter can rig the entire site. This is amazing to watch. Does he not realize all of this was already done to Republicans?
Dude, yeah. I firmly believe that leftists don't believe that actually happened, right? They don't believe that conservatives were being throttled, shadow banned. They don't believe any of that stuff. But now, somebody who has a different opinion than they do, a different maybe political perspective, that all of a sudden, of course they're taking it to the far reaches on here. Now all of a sudden, everything that conservatives said was happening to them, now they're like, oh, this could happen to us. It already happened. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Yeah, but they don't want it to happen to them, right?
No, yeah.
It's again, rules for thee, but not for me.
And I don't want it to happen either. I want everybody to be able to be on social media, say what you want to say, right? Even your butthurt feelings, sorry, it is what it is. Say what you want to say, and then leave it at that. But you know what you can do? You can block people.
Yeah.
You can mute people. You don't have to listen to them.
At least Twitter's new CEO is making transparency one of his major goals. Yeah. Unlike...
Well, this is what he should do too. This is another thing I think. And when he comes in and, he starts going through everything, he needs to do a little thing. Is like, okay, this is what Twitter was doing to everybody. I just want you guys to know this and release the data on how Twitter was throttling people, how it was pushing, some people's tweets versus other people's tweets, and just show what negativity Twitter was doing to people. You know,
What about like the internal IM messages of the employees?
Release
like
all that
just
stuff.
release it and let everybody.
He owns
just
it. He owns it. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, just let people. Just let all these people just
He can
burn. Man.
Yeah, he can literally. People don't understand this. He owns Twitter. He can go into your DMs and pull up your DMs. Anybody's DM.
If you ever tweeted a dick pic, Elon Musk is looking at it.
Yeah,
He's sorting them from smallest to largest.
Yeah, just a sorting algorithm just to sort dick pics.
Yeah, man.
Well, this is ridiculous. Like the left is like, oh well, we gotta censor these Republicans. I'm like, you do realize that like porn is allowed on Twitter, right? But you're censoring like ideas instead.
Yeah,
of,
well, you saw that with is it Tim Cook that owns Apple? It's like oh well, we're not going to allow what was it Getter at the time or something like that, or was it Parler or whatever?
It's Getter, and
because they have
or Gab's not allowed on Apple
because they have words that we don't agree with. Whatnot. You literally have porn on Twitter. You can go look it up. You know, and you're not banning them.
Well, isn't Al Qaeda's like Twitter page like still up or something like that?
Yeah,
too?
I
Like,
mean
they got terrorist organizations on there.
What you call it of Iran? What's his name? The head of Iran. It doesn't matter. He doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, you keep going down. I mean, you keep seeing some of these tweets, man. It's like he got this one. They're not handling it very well.
Well, why don't we talk about how the employees are reacting to Musk's takeover? I think we got an article. About that,
my
right?
gosh! Yeah.
So this is from who is it from?
Hot Air.
Hot Air.
Why don't you take this one?
Twitter employees are reacting to Musk's takeover of the company. Update. Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter is now a done deal, and as you might imagine, not everyone's happy about it. You may have seen some of the tweets from people threatening to leave the site. Go for it. Now that Musk owns it, someone created this mocking meme aimed at those folks.
That is the greatest.
For those of you who can't see it, it's a
screaming liberal
meme.
The screaming at the sky liberal.
Yeah, it's a pic of Elon Musk on the face of the monkey from Lion King when he's holding up Mufasa, and down below all the zebras' heads have been switched over for crazy libs, just screaming their heads off. So it says the New York Times published a story this afternoon about how employees of the company are reacting. Somewhat surprisingly, not everyone who works there is unhappy about the change. That's what I think you were talking about, Brian.
They're not happy?
Yeah, some conservative people or people that just care about free speech and the Constitution, right? That doesn't make them far right or anything.
There's actually been some reports like that some conservatives that do work at Twitter have been releasing some of the stuff saying, dude, you would not, and you wouldn't believe how many people are just here crying their eyes out, like freaking out.
So let's keep following on this article. It says, so the New York Times report is fairly measured, but another Times reporter suggested on Twitter that people at the company were freaking out. We have a couple tweets here. One's from Talman Joseph Smith. It's absolutely insane. At Twitter right now, in the virtual valves of private Slack rooms and employee group text, according to an internal source, their take breakdown just now, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I really don't want to work for a company that is owned by Elon Musk, but they'll drive Teslas, right?
Yeah.
And then the employee continued, Elon 3 something. I don't know what that means. I feel like he's this petulant little boy and that he's doing this to troll. He doesn't know anything about our policies and what we do. Well, it's not your policies, it's his now. His statement about our algorithm was effing insane. We're just gonna let everyone run amok. Nobody knows. This is hilarious. There was a fourth tweet in that thread in which an employee described themselves as pretty broken by the news, but for some reason Smith deleted it. Yashar Ali reports that the top question coming from the staff right now isn't about the product; it's about whether employees will still be able to work from home. So this is the hubris, man. These people that work at Twitter that make they're all probably software engineers, data engineers, and machine learning engineers, whatever. They make at least $100,000, at least, and that's really lowballing.
They're making over 200.
I know. I'm just saying. Let's just say $100,000. That's lowballing it, right? And their biggest worry is that they'll be able to keep working from home, right? This is the hubris of these people. This is lots of questions about work from home. Twitter has become a permanent work from home option company, and there are concerns about Elon Musk's statements, actions in the past about work from home and whether that will continue when he takes over. I have friends that work there, and this is literally the only major issue they care about. This is insane, man. I mean, I don't understand how these people run the public square. Do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
How scary is that?
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's the smallest of the social media, right? It's the
Yeah.
smallest of the big tech. You know, it was low hanging fruit. It was the only one he would have been able to purchase anyway. You know,
Let me read this last one right here. It says, from the Babylon Bee, Twitter employee undergoes therapy due to imminent Elon Musk takeover. Yeah, let's play this video. I don't know what it means, what it says, but
Dr. Pollen, I'm your 2 o'clock.
Oh, hey, Mandy. Have a seat. What can I do for you?
It's terrible. I can't even. I have literally lost my ability to even.
Whoa, let's calm down. What was it? Some sort of tragic loss? Death in the family? No one misgendered you, did they?
No, it's even worse. Elon Musk wants to buy our company.
All right, not another one. All right, just tell me, what is it about Elon buying Twitter that actually bothers you? And remember, this is a safe space. There's no judgment here.
If he buys our free speech platform, people will be able to have free speech on our platform.
All right, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's go a little bit deeper. What exactly bothers you about somebody having free speech on our free speech platform?
If we don't have the unilateral power to ban ideas we don't like, we'd actually have to discuss and defend our ideas based on their own merit.
Let's try something else.
This is one of the
I'm gonna
greatest
load some shapes,
things
and I
I've
want
ever
you
seen.
to
hold
tell
on,
me
pause real
exactly-
quick. This sounds like a JP Sears. Like you ever see JP Sears?
Oh,
the redheaded
yeah.
guy, the buff guy. Like this sounds like this would be one of his.
this is amazing. I can't believe I haven't seen this.
Keep going.
What you see.
It's a real shark card.
Nazis, Adolf Hitler, Nazis. Oh, I know that one. It's the Hindu symbol for peace.
So
Namaste.
he held up a swastika symbol, and she said symbol for peace.
Nazis, Donald Trump. No, wait, it's still Nazis.
Fascinating. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer honestly. Is Elon in the room with us right now?
Yes, I see him at work. I see him at Whole Foods. I see him when I get into my Tesla. He's everywhere.
Oh man, if you guys are only hearing this on audio, you have got to watch this.
All right, whatever. Next.
Hey, Doc. Why do you have these pictures of my mom?
Go down a little bit to this this chart down at the bottom here.
Oh, I got it here. Go for
You
it.
got it. Yeah. So I can't see it on my phone for some stupid
okay.
reason, but
So it says, reminder, 98.7% of donations from Twitter employees went to Democrats. And it's showing a graph here, employee donations to midterm candidates by party. I mean, wow.
yeah, but
I mean,
that's to be known, right?
We expected this, right?
Right.
Yeah. But it's still, just seeing the numbers is ridiculous, though. But it does show you that there are a sliver of Republican or right-leaning conservative people
just a bit.
enough to run Twitter.
Do you know what's, what's funny?
What if he went on this hiring and firing based on this chart?
Hey,
Do you know what's funny about these percent of donations to Democrats or Republicans? Look right underneath Facebook. Oh, did you leave it?
No, I got it right here. I just pulled it up.
It's about halfway, right underneath Facebook. What's that company?
Tesla.
Tesla donates 93.9% to the Democratic Party. If anyone had questions about Elon Musk leaning, and yet
This is like that video is funny because it's you're parroting reality. The funny thing, like the Babylon Bee, right? They had the Babylon Bee, the guy he was on Megyn Kelly's show, and he goes, "It's really hard coming up with stuff now because all the stuff is real."
Yeah,
and it's like these people are doing the exact same thing they did to Trump, right? All of a sudden, everything's Nazi, everything is fascist, blah blah blah, you know. But yet, Antifa, anti-fascists are the ones out there with their black boots, with their shields, telling you to shut up and beating you in your face, attacking gay guys like Andy No for reporting the facts.
Yeah, definitely. Did you guys see that meme of it's like, oh man, we're running out of conspiracies because they're all proving out to be right.
Oh, hold on. We have more gold, man. Go to the
man.
next
All
one
right, let's go
on
to the next
Twitchy.
one. Give me a sec.
So on Twitchy, Brian Stelter is alarmed by the total freedom for everybody after Elon Musk buys Twitter. Brian Stelter, he is the gift that keeps on giving.
Should we watch this video?
Yes, please.
Oh,
please.
man. All right, so it says Stelter on Elon Musk buying Twitter, and we'll just go ahead and play this. He's on
Look, who knows? I think that's an example of a broader question for Twitter, which is, if you get invited to something where there are no rules, where there is total freedom for everybody, do you actually want to go to that party?
Yes.
Or are you going to decide to stay home? And that's a question for Twitter users. Some Twitter
His
users
co-hosts are
love
looking
the
at him
idea.
like he's
There's going
crazy.
to be absolutely no moderation and no rules at all. Others might not want to be anywhere near that. Am I crazy, Matt?
No,
Yes.
you're right. And what happens to the advertising? I mean, if there's no moderation or little moderation, do the advertisers stay away? What does that do to the business prospects for Twitter itself?
I think that's very much an
Again, it is a private company. I don't think Elon Musk cares.
Yeah. Do you want to go to a party where there's no rules? Wait a minute. So the first time, if I go to a party and the first thing I do when they walk in, I go, "Here's the rules," I'm gonna leave.
I'm out of there. Goodbye.
It's a lame party, dude.
First of all, when you get there, they're like, you can't say this. You can't only talk to people that are 6 feet tall or under.
Dude, all this proves is that Brian Stelter has never been invited to a party in his life.
Oh, my God.
And mind you, going to a party with rules, this is coming from a bunch of Mormons saying this.
Oh yeah, exactly. So keep going down. Like there's some like.
So there's tweets here referring to this. This was from Christina Punshaw. As soon as someone starts telling me about the rules for coming to their party, I'm out.
Exactly.
Next one is by Dan O'Donnell. Brian Stelter just revealed that he's never actually been to a party. Next one is from Noam Blum. Don't touch that punch, guys. It might be spiked. This one's from Patrick. They're literally arguing against freedom. It's so telling. They genuinely believe we need them to manage our lives.
Now imagine if we will that we go back to the founding of the country when the people were getting on ships to get away from religious persecution, and you told them, wait, guys, do you really want to go to this faraway land where there's no rules,
Where you can do whatever
there's
you
no
want.
king or queen, where nobody's going to persecute your religion?
Where you can literally get a big plot of land and do whatever you want.
Like,
Say
where are the
it
tickets for the
itself.
ship? How do I
I'll
get
buy
on?
an extra one.
You can literally drag me by the anchor. I want to be on this ship right now.
I want rules where they kill me for my other religion. That's where I want to stay.
Well, this is the thing, right? It's always been the counterculture has always been punk, right? Like Tim Pool always says, the counterculture is punk, right? Don't tell me not to do something or else I'm going to want to do it. Apparently, this guy hasn't got this. And which is funny. We're going to have to talk about this in another one, but there's another video that we have to get into later on with Brian Stelter where he talks about CNN Plus. Well, we don't really know if it's failed or not. It's like the Hindenburg on fire on the ground. Well, it's not getting up, dude.
Oh my gosh, look at this comment right here. It says, it's from Ryugi. No, Brian, I'm going to go to the party where scolding chaperones make my life miserable for adults who dare to dissent from Democratic Party talking points because, gosh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
What is it? Tom Knighton.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
The thing is, Musk hasn't said there won't be any rules. The problem is there won't be two different sets of rules, and that's more than
A tater.
Yeah. These idiots,
That is exactly how I would describe him, a freaking tater.
yeah. These idiots saying like, oh, there's going to be no rules. Can you tell me exactly what the rules are currently over Twitter?
Or hey, if you don't like it, don't stay on Twitter. Buy Stelter. Nobody cares about you, dude. You have a following of like 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
No, it's less than that, dude.
Oh, probably less than that. Yeah.
Ben
Nobody
Shapiro
cares about you.
Ben Shapiro gets that many views within an hour of releasing his videos.
Yeah, I mean the fact is these people are already scared that their ratings are dropping like a stone, and that they're afraid that now because of this they won't be like actual ideas will be reaching people that they're meant for, and that they won't that they'll just become irrelevant. I mean that's these people's greatest fear, don't you think? That they'll just become irrelevant and people will forget about them because they've been what is it? Monopolizing the social square for so long.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh man, that'd be hilarious, dude. Just also just fades into the sunset.
I guess that means that Twitter is just going to become the Thunderdome, which leads us into our next one.
Oh no!
So this is MSNBC.
Oh, this
Make no mistake, Musk's ownership of the company will likely make the platform into even more of a hellscape. The reason why are clear to anyone willing to see them. Really? What? Yeah, it's down a little bit. Like I just skipped right to the good part.
I was like, did I have the wrong one?
No, you're on the right one. It's
like the third
Twitter
paragraph.
accepts Musk's offer to buy the company for $44 million. So MSNBC, they put a different tag on the front, and then when you go into the actual article, they change it. It's like like I go check MSNBC, Slate, Vox, all these things, and it's funny. Like when I go in, there'll be a title underneath the picture or whatever, and then you'll see it change. But you can kind of see what it was because it was such a terrible title, and it's always like that. I never go on a Daily Wire, I never go on a Fox, I never go on to The Blaze, I never go on to PGA Media, and never see the title change. They leave it alone. Anyway, whatever. So this guy seems to believe that Twitter is going to become a hellscape, as does apparently everybody else on Earth. Who's a leftist. He continues that Musk has a warped view of free speech that's not benefiting anyone or not benefiting of someone running a social media platform. The guy, again,
anything he touches it turns to gold, man.
He started PayPal. Everybody still uses PayPal to this day.
And these people drive Teslas. They drive his freaking cars, man.
I could just see them in their Tesla car crying while they listen to their
why they tweet. I've been crying in my Tesla.
Yeah, so he continues. His sophomoric perception of free speech draws from right-wing logic. He's not right-wing. Again, this is like the Tim Pool thing, right? With anybody, actually, right? As soon as you come out and you espouse a difference of opinion, you are now right-wing.
Yep.
You are far right.
Far right.
All right. So his perception of free speech draws from right-wing logic, claiming moderation, even moderation of speech that might cause harm, is unjust. Dude, okay.
So why?
For example, he criticized Twitter's discussion to ban former President Donald Trump for posting a risk of inciting further violence after January 6th. January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Okay, so let's go back. Let's assess some of these things that he's saying on here. Okay, so the freedom of speech might cause harm. Your feelings, your butthurt feelings because somebody says something that you disagree with or don't like. I'm sorry. As a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, people say disparaging things about our church all the time, and I support them 100% to say those things because
Absolutely.
I support the freedom of speech. I disagree with them,
and we're willing to have a conversation about it.
Absolutely.
But we support their right to be able to say that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to them, just free speech in general is Nazism.
Yeah, unjust for two. You ban everyone that talks about pronouns actually mean a biological fact. They're banned. Let's show a picture of this cross dipped in urine. Oh, that's fine. We can disparage Christians all we want. So it's on these
not Muslims. Only Muslims.
Oh, not Muslims. So it's just like free speech being causing harm. Violence is an objective fact. It's not an opinion. It's not your feelings. Okay, that's freedom of speech. That is responsibility you should gladly accept for that gift, is the ability to hear things you don't want to hear. It challenges your precepts. That's a good thing, not a weakness. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get tough skin, right? You got to get thick skin. So it's kind of a little off topic, but similar, right? So men and women approach each other differently, right? Generally, men approach women, right? Would you say that's correct? Right? Yeah. So men generally approach women. You know how much we get shot down over and over and over, hundreds upon hundreds of times? You get shot down. I had a friend in college. Interesting. So she was like, guys aren't approaching me anymore. So she's like, so I went to go approach a guy, and she's like, he shot me down. And I was just like, welcome to the club. She's like, I can't imagine that you guys go through this all the time. I was like, we approach women every day. And it just rolls off you get used to it, right? You get a thick skin. And I think that's a problem with social media. I mean, what did we just see that happened recently? Mike Tyson. Did you see that thing on the airplane? So this guy was like berating Mike Tyson. At first, I think he wanted a picture with him. Mike Tyson gave him a picture, and he's talking to him. But then he kept berating. Mike Tyson's like, dude, stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. And then eventually Mike Tyson just turns around and starts punching the guy in the seat because he wouldn't leave Mike Tyson alone, right? How stupid do you have to be to not understand that in real life is not social media? You can't just say what you want to people and there aren't consequences. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you need to punch people in the mouth or anything like that. However, dueling made for a more polite society.
Let him make the square.
Oh, okay. So let's keep going on here.
That paragraph you just read, I am adding it to a doc as one of the dumbest paragraphs I've ever read in my life.
Oh, absolutely, man. The greatest thing is this is going to be on the internet for forever. You'll be able to go back to all these people's tweets where they're literally espousing right now what they're counter espousing.
Oh,
and like you just pull up a tweet like, but you said this.
Yeah.
This is literally what you said, and now you're saying this.
That's hate speech. That is an attack against
misinformation. Disinformation.
Pronouns, whatever.
Can we start from here as we develop these stories? Develop a doc of a collection of the dumbest things we've read and kind of just like rate them as we go along.
That would be a pretty big book for me. I read a lot, so
we keep receipts. Well, let's keep jumping in this.
All right. So a good sign as to whether there's free speech is. Would you guys know whether there's free speech or not? Would you be able to identify it if you saw it? I think you would. Yeah, okay. So a good sign as to whether there's free speech is someone you don't like allowed to say something you don't like? And if that's the case, then we have free speech. Musk said during an interview after he became Twitter's largest investor of the month. Yeah, no crap, dude. We know that. Yep. People say stuff I don't like all the time. Guess what? They get to say it.
I just don't follow them.
Yeah. Of course, Trump wasn't booted from Twitter merely for saying things people didn't like. He was kicked off because he encouraged rioters who participated in an effort to overrun the election. That's false. Fact check. False.
Immediately.
Musk doesn't see a difference, which is why he's just about the worst person to have at Twitter's helm. Of course, he's got to be the worst person in the world.
Oh man, dude! It's just like cringe. This keeps going cringe and cringe, man. Oh, is there something about pedo on this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna read that because the YouTubes.
Man. Do you want to watch this video at the bottom?
Yeah, please, dude.
Elizabeth Warren to Elon Musk: the world's freeloader evidently has very thin skin. What?
Yeah, Joy, not so Joy Reid.
Freeloader.
No, go ahead and play it.
Oh, we gotta play it. Is it loading?
That's going to go to a stupid commercial.
Time magazine has named Elon Musk Person of the Year, which is actually an insult to any number of people who should have been named Person of the Year because Elon Musk he's the worst. His company, Tesla's $1 trillion market value, well exceeds its revenue. It only reached its first full year of profitability last year. Has long relied on sales of emissions credits to keep its bottom line afloat and was recently ordered to pay more than $100 million for a racist, hostile work environment. But this year, Musk leapfrogged the other billionaire
just feel my brain cells
Amazon's
dying.
Jeff Bezos, becoming the world's richest person.
I feel like she's reading a Wikipedia entry.
Build Back Better.
How did this lady get a freaking platform on
She's a
national
professor
TV?
at Georgetown.
I do not understand, man.
Tesla?
Like the stupidity is just like wafting off. She has a Musk with stupidity.
And settling does not mean that you're guilty. Settling means it's like, hey, you know what? We don't want to keep dragging this out. How do we get rid of this person? You know, they're going to take you to court no matter what, especially if they have good lawyers. And you're a whale. They'll settle.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're guilty.
Yeah. Tesla has ran out of its credits from the government for its green car initiative, like the third or fourth year into its making. And places like GE and other companies haven't run out of their credits from the government because they can't sell enough electric cars to warrant running out of it.
Right.
So he is a completely American-based company, American-employed, American-built cars that receives no money from the government and quite a big profit from Tesla. I don't know where she got that.
Well, he did. He got subsidies in the beginning. There was subsidies from the government. There was also like if you bought the car, you got like $5,000 discount. Which I think that was under Obama.
It's like 5 or 7. Again,
yes.
This guy has done more for climate change than anybody on the left. Again, and even the government paid him to do it.
Yeah, you see, the green car, electric car subsidies, there's a limit that once you hit, you run out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He got past that subsidy like 4 or 5 years after he made it. He no longer gets subsidies.
Yeah. These are the electric car companies that are just trying to get into it, let alone get to that level. So
again, it's just like these commentators, man. Like they're just not in tune with the real world, man, and what real people like actually are thinking. Did you guys see this? Have you guys checked out The View lately?
I try not to.
Please. Yeah. Is this another gold mine of a video?
Oh my gosh, yes. So we got an article here from the Daily Wire, our friends at the Daily Wire. The title is "The View Host claims Twitter is mostly straight white men who will use freedom of speech to abuse women.
Wait. So for this whole time that conservatives have been off of Twitter, it's been completely controlled by liberals. The vast majority of the people on there are liberals. So would that make it that most of these straight white men are liberals?
That is correct. Yes, you're absolutely right.
It's kind of like when they attack Hollywood for certain things that they don't like, and it's like Hollywood is ran by liberals. What are you talking about? You guys run it, or the education. Education is systematically college are systematically racist. It's like you guys run the education system. What are you talking about?
Another,
go for it.
Another one of my favorites is they were talking about how in the news, in the major media outlets, there is the white woman bias, where a white lady goes missing, everyone talks about it, but there's no credit given to missing black women. I was watching this on MSNBC as a black anchor was talking about this. I'm thinking, you liberals run the biggest media corporation.
This is about the Gabby Petito thing, right?
Yeah. If there's a white woman syndrome, fix it. You're the guys that run it.
Yeah, you guys are the ones that literally bring up which stories are
along more evidence of what you were saying.
Well, it's kind of like the DC shooting thing that happened, right? They disappeared that because the narrative didn't fit.
Or like the New York subway shooting.
It turned out to be a
black guy.
Got a memory hole it.
Yep.
All
right. So let's get into this article because this is a doozy, guys. Let's go down.
There's a video, right?
There is. So let me read this quick paragraph. Sunny Hostin claimed Tuesday that first of all, who named her?
She's an attorney too. Do you know this? She used to be an attorney general. I think of like California, maybe.
Twitter was populated primarily by straight white men, and suggested that if billionaire Elon Musk allowed for more free speech on the platform, people would use that freedom to be more abusive towards women. Hostins and her co-host on ABC daytime talk show, garbage show, The View, responded during Tuesday's broadcast that the news that Musk, after weeks of talking about making such a move, had secured a deal to purchase Twitter. Oh man, so let's play this. Let's play this video, guys. This is gonna be so cringeworthy. Here you go.
Look, I think Twitter can be a really horrible place, and I think people are excited because he is sort of going to unleash the trolls, right? I think he is saying, you get to say whatever you want. I'm going to take away the guardrails. And for me, that is something that is a bit scary, and I think it's going to be scary to a lot of women because there have been some surveys done, and 38% of women around the world have said that they have been on the receiving end of a lot of abuse on Twitter. 85.
Okay, it's not abuse; it's your feelings.
Let's give her the benefit of that. Let's say somebody actually did say something terrible, right? Like, I hope you die, or I hope somebody runs you over with a truck, or whatever, right? I disagree with that. You shouldn't say that.
Agreed. But again,
that person should be banned off of Twitter.
Terrible things are said to multiple people on the left and on the right every day.
Oh, I'm pretty
sure. But
you
don't see people just freaking complaining about it and just crying about it.
Ask Candace Owens. She has the receipts.
Yeah. Or how about Ben Shapiro? He received the most anti-Semitic hate out of everybody.
I'm just talking about women. Like she's talking about women.
All right. Candace Owens, whatever. Or what's her name from? Sydney Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Come on. Blair White. Like.
Christina Loof, who's the one that's married to Donald Trump Jr. She was on.
I don't remember her name, man.
On the Five.
Yeah.
Her. You had
Kayleigh McEnroe.
Pretty much any woman that was on Fox.
Yeah, got hate.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's keep going.
5% of women have said that they have seen the abuse. And what's interesting to me about Twitter is only 22% of adults are on Twitter in the world, and that's from a 2019 Pew study. And so Twitter is not the real world. And in fact, on Twitter, it is predominantly straight white men. So when Elon Musk says, wow, this is about free speech, it seems to me that it's about free speech of straight white men. And so let them have it. Let them just go at it. I enjoy the block button on Twitter. I think it has a real outsized influence in our world because politicians and celebrities are on it. And I think what may happen, quite frankly, with Elon Musk taking it over is that there'll be some other social media platforms that take over where real people are talking, and there'll be real real
Gab.
freedom of speech because I'm kind of tired of billionaires taking over our modes of communication. You've got
The
Jeff
Washington
Bezos
Post.
taking over the Washington
Post.
Post. You've got Mark Zuckerberg taking
CNN
over
Plus.
Facebook and Instagram. Now you've got Elon Musk taking over Twitter. You know, I guess billionaires want to take over free speech, and I'm not here for it.
She just hates that. She just hates that an African American man bought Twitter.
That's the greatest tweet. I love that an African American man is the owner of Twitter.
Yes. I love the subtle nod to, I like a free market, that now these people do it, other people will develop other things. Yes, I agree.
Now all of a sudden Twitter's garbage, right? Twitter's garbage. Twitter's always been garbage. No, we know that. Twitter has been garbage.
But it's the public
agree.
square.
Yeah.
It's the public square. There's nothing to do about it, right? As of this moment, there's no other space that's a public square like Twitter. And that's what it is. And so far, the libs have completely trashed the platform.
And how dare she assume these women are women? How do you know, ma'am? Sir.
Thing. They. Oh, gosh.
Bun self. I don't know.
I mean, if you guys haven't seen the hypocrisy and just the absolute cringe that the left is just losing their crap right now, you're living under a rock, because this is the most hilarious. Memes are on fire at the moment on all social media, if you guys haven't seen about this stuff. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is literally all you're seeing on social media right now. And let's go to the next one, because this one's pretty good too.
Yeah, so I mean, there are people that have been just leaving Twitter in flocks. Obviously, mostly left leaning people, but again, right after that, they just come right back. And the biggest example of that is Sean King.
You want to do this one?
You want to do the honors?
I love
this.
that.
This is at our friends again at the Daily Wire.
This is the guy who started Black Lives Matter, right?
No, this is not.
No.
He didn't start Black Lives Matter.
He's like one of the big talkers, but no, it was three women.
Yeah. This isn't him.
He's a big supporter of him.
Yeah. And so the title is Sean King already back on Twitter, claims he didn't throw Musk hissy fit, but was getting death threats. So you want to take it away?
Sure.
Let's see. King has not posted any screenshots of the alleged death threats. I'm starting third paragraph down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't delete my account, King wrote in response to conservative Jack Posobiec. You literally made that up. I was getting death threats and hack attempts from your buddies who stormed the Capitol and had to make it more secure, King claimed. All right, here, and you are a sick white supremacist. People's favorite tantrum to throw. So,
yeah, but then Jack.
But read that next line right there. That'd be hilarious.
Receipts are right here. Talcum X, the conservative ally.
Oh my gosh! And Jack Posobiec posted the tweet from Sean King. You wish, mother effer. I didn't delete my account. You literally made that up. I was getting death threats and hack attempts from your buddies. Blah blah blah. And then going down, Jack posted the receipt for Talcum, and he screenshotted Sean King's Twitter that says this account doesn't exist.
Yeah, dude, I was on, like, when I opened my account, I started going through and I started following all kinds of people, right, and left and right, because I want to see what everybody's saying, right. And I saw that. I think it was who was that kid that he works for Dave Rubin now. I can't remember his name, what he did. But anyway, but he posted that Sean King had deleted his Twitter account. So I went on there, and sure enough, it was deleted. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, you're full of crap, dude. You deleted it. And then you're sitting there saying you got death threats. Where are the receipts, dude? Show us.
Yeah, show us. What's the problem with that?
Yeah.
If they really got death threats, like, you should be like just posting that crap all over the place.
Any black conservative, female or male, when they get death threats from the left, show them all the time. They this is the person that said it. This is the tweet. This is the email. This is what I get. Blah blah blah. They keep going and they show them lists of them. Where is it, Sean King?
Yep. And so there's this tweet right here. It's from Election Wizard. I didn't think this day could get much better, but it appears Sean King has deactivated or deleted his Twitter account.
Instant better. Oh,
you want to keep going down?
Let's see. I'll just say it kind of in review. They talk about how Elon Musk doesn't care about free speech. He cares about white supremacy, because that's where they have to go with these things. They have to make it some sort of neo-Nazi thing, because it's not about free speech or truth or listening to their side. It's about turning a they versus them mentality, so you can have confirmation bias with yourself and not listen to the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, King, dude, he got off of Twitter and then he was like, He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna promote this other platform or something, and then he like just started. You saw how many many followers he started losing, just like they just dropping off like a stone. He's just like, shiz, I gotta get back on there.
It's a good segue into our next story.
Oh, what would that be?
It was on the Daily Wire.
Oh, from our friends at Daily Wire. That's
Liberals
right.
bemoan lost Twitter followers after Musk's takeover. After a final deal was announced Monday about billionaire Elon Musk, or what did that girl say? Elon Musk, or however you say it. It's literally Elon Musk. It's like 8 letters.
If you don't know how to pronounce the richest man on the planet's name, get out of here.
A slew of liberals came out to bemoan lost followers. Just lost 2,000 followers. Anyone else losing followers? Neera Tanda, a Biden nominee who withdrew her longtime support for Hillary Clinton, wrote on Twitter, just lost 2,000 followers. Anyone else losing them? Neera Tardin. Let's see. Gun control activist David Hogg. Oh, yeah. He's just joined the SoftBest of saying, oh, I thought it was just some really bad takes I posted, but guess I'm not alone. 3,000 today. Yep. Oh, Mark Hamill, Star Wars actor. I just lost more than 8,000 followers in the last couple hours. Was it something I said?
No, it's just who you are.
Another Twitter user, Christopher Bosey, wrote, exclusive. Over the past 24 hours, Democrats have experienced a significant decrease in followers, while Republicans have experienced a significant increase in followers. He posted a chart, not on liberals, but only on former President Barack Obama, which showed he lost roughly 5,000 of his 131 million followers.
Oh, look, the Keith Olbermann comment on the Mark Hamill when he's like, I'm down about the same proportionately, around 1,800. Can't tell if it's dead bots or people are afraid that Elon will find out they were following me.
Yeah, Keith Olbermann, the worst person in the world. Yeah, they're losing like crazy. Which actually that goes to the next story real quick here, right? Because they're saying the conservatives are gaining theirs, right? So we go to this one on the Daily Wire. Conservative Twitter accounts explode with new followers, increased engagement after Musk's announcement. That's crazy. That's so weird. Like Glenn Beck was on a show talking about, he's like, I literally got like 30,000 followers in the last hour. The same day, Elon Musk announced that he had reached the agreement with Twitter and purchased the company for $44 million. They began seeing large increases in their follower accounts and engagement. One of the most significant factors motivating Musk's purchase of Twitter was his concern over censorship and speech suppression on the platform. Throughout the last 2 weeks, as he's pressed his bid to purchase the company, he's indicated that one of his top priorities will be reversing heavy-handed content moderation policies and lifting algorithms that may be unfairly targeting some tweets and accounts based on their political views. Could it be that since now he's the owner and he made them stop everything, that maybe those algorithms are no longer functioning and now all the people that you want to see, you can actually see?
I don't know. Could be.
Shifts on Twitter from Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning suggest that now the Tesla CEO has a formal deal with Twitter. Blah, blah, blah. We'll keep going on there. Go down here to this quote. Anyone else feel like their algorithm that suppressed accounts speech that Twitter didn't like got removed today? Comedian and conservative columnist Tim Young asked. According to Christopher Boozy, founder of the social media analytical performance bot Sentinel, Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis gained nearly 100,000 followers. Ron... F around and find out DeSantis.
I was one of them.
100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went on. He was one of the first ones I went after. Following Musk's announcement, Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Jim Jordan were both up more than 50,000. I can't understand left-leaning accounts deciding to close their accounts after the Elon Musk news. But why the sudden significant increase from Republican followers? This is not normal, Boozy said, later adding, I really would like a Twitter spokesperson to explain this.
Can you imagine what Marjorie Taylor Greene would have, how many people she would have gone to follow her?
Dude.
It would have just exploded. I mean, if Musk is behind this algorithm change already, it's like just that by itself is significant, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Conservative rapper Zuby. If you don't know Zuby, you should follow him. He's hilarious. He's from the UK. He self-identified as a woman for 5 minutes and broke the woman's deadlift record. How dare you? So conservative rapper Zuby said he gained more than 11,000 followers in less than 24 hours.
Oh, man.
And that his posts are experiencing a much higher degree of engagement. It's been a long time since one of my tweets was allowed to reach 100,000 likes. My account has been throttled for 2 years, he said. It just goes on and on and on. There's plenty of conservatives out there and just comedians too that are talking about how many followers they're getting now, right? Because comedy is one of the things that's been getting attacked as well. You know, you can't make fun of people. But
And here they are celebrating it, having fun with it. No death threats or hate speech yet. It's just more engagement.
I mean, the right gets it on a daily basis, I'm sure, but they know it's like they just don't care, right? Like they know that these people are just crazy and they're just death threatening them all the time, and they're just like whatever, right? Like I'm still gonna get my message across, and no problem. If it's something like super serious, they'll pass it on to the authorities. But again, it's like it's a DM. Like, what are you gonna do to me? You know, unless like it's a actual serious threat that they see. You know,
yeah.
What does it matter? Just block them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, block them. You know, that's all you got to do. I mean, that was like back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Married with Children. And there's this one lady, she came out on TV and she's like, I had to walk in my living room and I had to listen to this show and it was just so sexist, this Al Bundy talking about going to the nudie bar, and I was subjected to listen to this. It's like, change the channel. That's all you got to do.
Oh, man. Oh, did you guys hear about that? The host who actually is the one that dared Elon Musk to buy Twitter?
Who?
And how he's the host, forgot his name, Dave Smith. He's the one that Elon tweeted, "I love Twitter," and then he tweeted back to him. He's like, "You should buy it then." And Elon Musk is like, "How much is it?" And he said, "He's like to this day it haunts me." Because apparently that's when Elon started thinking about buying it, and then the Babylon Bee got they got booted off Twitter, and that's when he called him. He's like, "Did you guys get booted off Twitter?" And they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Maybe I should buy it then."
Now, what if he comes in and doesn't do anything?
Yeah, could be. It could be he's pumping up the price of it and then sells it again.
Yeah, but I would just say hypothetically, let's say he comes in and he doesn't do anything, right? What are these people going to do? What are they going to say? Is he still Hitler? Is he still, a Nazi?
What if he goes even harder on censorship?
Yeah.
Just blocks everybody.
Yeah, then they flip all of a sudden. They're like, "No, what are you doing? It's not what we
No,
want."
Elon Musk is the savior.
Yeah. That's, anyway, but so, yeah. Well, according to the HuffPost, Musk owns Twitter now. What could go wrong?
Oh.
This is funny.
Oh, you should read that one. Yeah, that was great.
One of you guys want to take it?
I got it.
Okay.
All right. So on the Huffington Post, it's Musk owns Twitter. What could go wrong? With his $44 billion deal to buy Twitter, Elon Musk has a new shiny thing. But unlike so many of Musk's moonshots, self-driving robotics, brain-machine interfaces, Hyperloop, bulletproof Cybertrucks, etc., Twitter
Flamethrowers.
Twitter is already a mature product used daily by hundreds of millions of people, and with that comes a set of challenges, including at times tedious day-to-day managerial tasks that the world's richest person may not be eager to take on.
Probably because he won't.
Yeah, I mean he knows the value of like getting the right people in the right job and letting it go, right? Anyways, it says it's like the dog that caught the car. Now that he owns Twitter, William Kemper, an expert on corporate governance and a professor at Columbia Business School, told HuffPost he'll have to provide the executive leadership needed to maintain and grow the company. He can't just hold it in his portfolio.
How many companies does he run?
He literally can't. It's his company now. He owns it. He can literally just hold on to it and let it burn and crash if he wanted to.
Didn't we hear this like when Trump was running for president? What experience does he have to run a country? You mean like Clinton's experience?
Like Hillary Clinton's?
Yeah. Yeah. Or Barack Obama's experience. He was a senator for a whole 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. What experience? It's like, get out of here.
So it says Twitter employees were already faced with a pending change, Klepper said. Musk will now increase their disorientation. He would be best to learn how to lead constructive change of an existing company culture, i.e. the way they do things around Twitter. No. All you want to do is to keep Twitter the way it is and keep pushing your narrative. That's not what's going to happen.
Quo.
Exactly.
Status quo.
In addition to internal managerial concerns, the deal also makes Musk the high-profile face of controversial external choices, including intractable free speech problems at home and abroad. Those problems and how he chooses to resolve them present a reputable risk that could spread to other parts of his sprawling technological fiefdom.
Let's talk about problems of his sprawling victim. Like, I don't think his stock market or his value or his worth is going down at all. No,
I mean, how much did he spend of his net worth to buy it? I think it was like 20%. What these people don't understand is like, this guy is probably the first trillionaire in history. If SpaceX and like all his other companies went public, he would be the first trillionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Bezos wouldn't even come close to touching him. Like, this is nothing to him. This is like his side project that he's like, this is interesting. Let's check this out. Oh yeah, I'll just buy it. now he can play around with however he wants, and there's nothing they can do to stop him.
You remember what's that new Marvel movie that came out? I
don't know. I stopped watching that crap.
No, it was this actor. It was about like Chinese mythology and stuff like that.
The Five Rings.
The Five Rings, yeah.
Ching Ching or something. I don't know.
No, it's the Five Rings. It actually wasn't too bad. Okay, but the main actor in it came out and goes, really, you have $44 billion and this is what you spend it on? It's like, dude, he literally went to the UN and said, "I'll fix world hunger."
Oh no. He responded to a tweet from somebody that worked at the UN or something. He's like, to fix world hunger, we just need $4 billion. And Elon Musk is like, I'll sell Tesla stock right now if you tell me exactly how it's broken down and how to do it.
Yep.
And he never retweeted back.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he could definitely put a dent in it. It's like, but it's also, he has the money to do whatever he wants. And freedom of speech is a massive concern for the world because everybody in the world uses Twitter. Yep. It's not just the United States. So he can do whatever he wants with $1 billion.
Again, the free society is based on free speech.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the founders made it the First Amendment.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is why he chose to suspend it, because he took a poll. Users of Twitter said free speech is not supported on here. That was a problem. He decided to solve it. The thing I find really annoying about this HuffPost article is the flippant, arrogant tone he used. He just got a shiny new toy. It's going to lose its... HuffPost.
That's HuffPost. That's how it is, dude.
I know people.
They're so dry, man.
It's snarky. They're always like, continue. I'm sorry.
I know people think Elon Musk is flippant because he does a lot of things quickly, but his mind works very quickly. He has an obsessive compulsion with.
He's literally Iron Man.
Yeah, with problems and with solving them. So he sees this. It's a problem he's going to solve. He's not going to be done with it till he figures it out.
What is it? Temple tweeted at him. He's like, "Why haven't you built an Iron Man suit?" And he responded, he's like, busy with SpaceX. He's like building rockets, building that spaceship or whatever. And he's like, Tim was like, fair enough.
That don't look like giant penises.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to see a free society, like the complete opposite of it, you just got to look at China.
Well, this guy, no, but you are right. Yes. Back to you real quick. This guy in this article, he talks about what could go wrong. He literally doesn't talk about anything that could actually go wrong, right?
Yeah, I'm like reading the article. There's nothing about it. I'm like, he just rags on Elon Musk. And he's like,
but with the China thing, right? Like what you you just brought up. Also, that same actor. It's like they brought up some tweet or something where he was disparaging China, back in 2013 about how it's a third world country and it, suppresses its people. But then all of a sudden he works for Disney, and guess what? Kind of silent on it now. Not talking about all those Uyghurs in concentration camps. And does China have freedom of speech?
I don't know. I think they have drones that tell them to suppress their soul's desire for freedom.
Yeah, didn't Google go out there and have Google Dragonfly?
Yeah,
because it literally suppresses any articles that they don't want the people to see.
Yeah, I mean the internet's completely censored.
You have to use a VPN out there,
and even that is like highly cracked down on.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they employ hundreds of people, billions of dollars for. Nice one, Brian. Your lordship.
Oh, he called you out.
So, to restrict people, they spend billions of dollars on this. And you hitting the microphone totally made me lose my train of thought.
That's all right, because I am the Lord. Well, let's just say this. Let's wrap this up, because the world's insane. There's a whole lot of other stuff going on, but this happened to be the one big thing that we want to talk to you guys about today. And unless you're living in a cave somewhere, everybody knows what's going on, but we just wanted to give everybody a little bit more insight of what's happening. Make sure that you're staying informed. Make sure that you're turning into this podcast. Like, subscribe. I don't think it really matters whether you hit the buttons anymore on YouTube. They don't really care. But, hey, on Rumble, go ahead and do that on there. Follow us on there. You can follow us where
Twitter.
else? Twitter, yeah. Yeah, continue to support us. Continue to let us know what you guys think. And, Mike?
Yeah, just, again, guys, I think right now is the time to pay attention to things. The world is in free fall. Make sure you're paying attention to, food shortages. We were going to cover that a little bit today, but unfortunately, Twitter took up most of our time, and just be attentive to the world around you. Again, you can follow us on Rumble, YouTube, Gab, all your social media networks, and obviously now Twitter. Again, subscribe, share this show with your friends and family, and what about you, Blake? Anything you want to say?
Thank you for joining us, Savages. Make sure you stay saintly.
All right, guys. Thanks.